Welcome to my home. If you're new here, my name is Karen. I've been very itching to get to fall decorating, but there's basics around the house that just have to be done first. And always we have to start in the kitchen with the dishes. It's just perpetual. But it always feels so good to have a nice fresh kitchen to cook in, and we're going to do some decorating, and we're going to put the new curtain up, the new fall curtain, and I definitely don't want to have a messy kitchen. I want to be able to appreciate how pretty my fall curtain is. It's probably, well, my fall, actually, no, okay, I love all my curtains. My fall curtain I love. It's just this kind of watercolor type of deal. And then the Christmas curtain, although many say it comes down too far on the window, I absolutely love it. It's just rich tones, and it has like deer on it and hearts, and then I usually keep it up for Valentine's Day since it has hearts. And then the spring one I always love because it's a bright white background with flowers on top. So I love being able to change out just one curtain in the house, my valance, and I always get very excited for the fall curtain specifically. So here is the mess I'm dealing with. This is just real life, and I'm in my pajamas still, and the neighbor's dog is barking, but I don't want to shut my window because it is September and it's breezy and I can hear birds when the dog's not barking. So if you can hear that, I do apologize. But anyway, it doesn't actually take too terribly long to set the kitchen to rights. It just always feels like it's going to once I get started. I had a conversation with my daughter Yvonne today as I was taking her to work, and she was like, "When are you going to get yourself some cute pajamas?" And I said, "Well, I just kind of wear old clothes to bed." And she said, "I know, you need to get cute pajamas because now you go and you visit your grandchildren and they need to see their Grammy in cute pajamas." So maybe I'll be on the lookout for some cute pajamas. It's a good time of year to get some, maybe some with Snoopy on it, or fall pumpkins. Maybe I'll get a couple fall pairs and then a couple Christmas pairs, and then what would be next? A couple Valentine pairs, and just get a couple pairs with every season change. I kind of feel like you only need two pairs. You need one to wear, you need one to wear when the other one's being washed, right? So honestly, I could even do with one because I could just wash it during the day and put it back on at night. But this is why a lot of times my clothes don't last, is because I wear them to absolute death. Coming up in a couple of minutes, you'll be able to hear the water and all the things, but being a mom of many, not that there's many in the house, but I have 3 daughters who are living with us right now, and usually there's someone who's around me chatting with me, and so I can't always share those conversations, but I just love the background noises, and someday when I'm an empty nester, I'll definitely have one of those channels where you can hear every little thing that I'm doing. I wonder if you've ever heard of underconsumption core. One of you actually pointed out to me that you felt like that was the category that I fall into. And having looked into it and what it actually is, I wish that my mother was alive, that I could show it to her, because she would just have a laugh. Because you correct me if I'm wrong, but underconsumption core is using up what you have before you buy more. Which, doesn't that just make sense? But I know how difficult that idea can actually be because, you know, do you wait to use an entire candle before you buy another candle? So let me know if that describes you. I think another way to describe it would be utilitarian, right? Where you buy things that have a purpose. You don't just buy things to buy things. Now, maybe I'm not utilitarian because I do like decor, and I suppose decor would not fall in the category of utilitarian unless you argue that with Maslow's hierarchy, having beauty in your life is a need. If having beauty in your life is a need, then you could argue that your decor also falls into the utilitarian idea. So not to go too far in it, but I definitely think that is my tendency. It's definitely the way I grew up. I never grew up having a large selection of clothes or shoes. you know, we didn't have a large selection of anything. We just bought what we needed. And, you know, my parents, when we didn't have a ton of money, it was because we didn't have a ton of money. When my parents started to make more money, my mom, I remember, had shared with my dad, I think we're overspending. And she was, you know, telling him that a lot of the things that he would buy coming to and from work, or and it was little things like a newspaper or a snack, or I don't know, maybe there were other things at that time in his life that he was buying, and she was like, you don't realize that these little purchases you're making are adding up. So her idea was to give him a little tiny notebook that would fit in the glove compartment of his truck, and then every time he made a purchase, he would write down the purchase and how much it cost, and then at the end of the week, they would add it up. Well, years later, she told me about it, and she was like, I created a monster because once he really got a hold of that idea, he became more frugal than she wanted him to be. And he was like, well, how much is that going to be, you know? And I can remember even after he had passed away, she was living in they had a camp on a lake that they lived at during the summer, and she wanted to get vertical blinds, and she was having them custom cut. So I happened to be there when the person came to measure the windows, and they gave her the price, and she was like, no way am I spending that on my windows. And I said, Mom, do you have the money for this? And she said yes. And I said, well, don't you think Dad would want you to have these vertical blinds that you would enjoy, that look nice and neat on your windows? Because she was a neat freak. And also, she's there living alone, so it gave her the privacy that she would need at nighttime too. And so I was able to talk her into it. But I can remember they had this little table with two chairs, and it was in like a porch that was on the front of their camp. And you know how chairs are, most chairs, the legs get loose over time. I can't remember even how many times I saw my dad take that chair out into his little workshop and repair the legs so that they wouldn't be loose anymore. And it used to crack me up because I knew he had plenty of money to go out and buy a new little table and chairs, but he would not do it. So funny. So I grew up in a very frugal way, and my parents were super responsible with, you know, of the retirement account, the whole thing. I am not that way. No, I am not. I wish I was more that way, but I definitely struggle with a feeling of scarcity, and so I can kind of go overboard and buy too many little things that add up, and then I can go the opposite way, and I'm just so scared to buy anything, which is kind of where I am right now, just a little bit afraid to buy anything. And with my fall decor, I didn't want to spend any money. Wanted it to be $0. But after I did what you'll see today, I did go buy a few little things, and I think I spent $15 total, which really isn't that bad. But I wanted to spend zero, but then I did kind of break down after a little trip to Target. But you will see that coming up in another video. Also, just wanted to thank all of you guys. I had said that I wasn't posting. It was actually 2 days ago because I had a terrible headache. I kind of crashed and burned a little bit and got a bit burnt out. And if my house gets behind, which it was, what I struggle with is it takes more time for me to edit than it takes for me to do the chores. So sometimes if I have too many chores to do, I have to stop and just take care of things and then start up again because there's no time to edit. And I just was tired and headachy. And you know, my youngest is a senior in high school, so she's just gone back to school. Well, literally, she said it's like every single person in the school is sick. Hey, by the way, there's my microwave, not looking too bad. Leo has decided the kitchen is now clean enough that he can lay in the window. And we just brought these were outside, and we brought them in. And this plant is so rugged, I do not treat it well. There's sweet little Leo's face. Doesn't he look innocent? But don't believe him. Anyway, what was I saying? So I did not feel well, but I got some sweet messages from those of you that saw that on my community page, offering prayer and sweet thoughts, and I appreciate that so much, and I wanted to make sure to thank you. The other thanks I wanted to share is There are times when someone will click on the little super thanks that's underneath the video. I think it's on the right hand side under the video, and they will give me an amount of money as just a sweet way to thank me for my content. And I had clicked on it the other day, and the whole list of people who have given me super thanks came up. And of course, now I just clicked on it so I could share it with you. That's my Propel, by the way. That's my electrolyte raspberry lemonade drink that I love so much and doesn't give me a stomach ache like lemonade does. Anyway, and of course, I go click on it now, and it will only show me one from last December and won't show me anything after that. That's super annoying. But I just wanted to thank those of you who have given me those little gifts. Obviously, I don't expect it, but it's just so sweet, and it helps me to know, I don't know, that you appreciate what I'm doing here and you're supporting it financially, and I appreciate that. I know Allie has done this in the past as well as Carolyn several times, and then there was someone else, and that's why I'm so frustrated, and I wasn't going to mention it, and then I'm like, no, it'll come up another day. It's not coming up today, but thank you to all of those who have done that. I really do appreciate you so much. And I have been considering opening up channel memberships. Have you ever heard of channel memberships? And have you ever become a member of another channel? I know that Clutterbug had channel memberships. I don't know if she still does, but usually there's a small monthly paywall, very much like, what's that website that starts with a P? Patreon. You pay a small monthly subscription fee and you get special perks. So I'm just thinking through this, and if you have any ideas, let me know. YouTube keeps writing to me about it because my community is strong here. You guys are absolutely amazing. One time I did have an audit of my channel to just kind of help me make it better. And I had hired a service to come and audit my channel, and they told me that one of my greatest strengths, and really it was the top of their list, was the community here in the comment section. All of you, super strong, super positive. They were so completely impressed. And this was a really, these people that they were very professional, very well known in the YouTube space. So they knew what they were talking about. And maybe that's why YouTube keeps sending me things saying it's time to have channel memberships. But what I was thinking is if I did do that, there would be a weekly live of all of my members and I. And it would be to kind of go over what things I have been sharing, what ideas you would have, what things, that you could help me improve, or things that you want to see. Like you would have a special, there's my before. There's the after. What a difference. See, isn't that so worth it when you can see the before and after? You should take pictures even if you don't ever share them, and just that could be your own before and afters. Now I'm dressed for the day and I'm in the living room. But anyway, I digress. Back to channel memberships. You would get to choose content and have a big say in what I'm doing. And I could possibly have my daughter making some sort of stickers, or she's recently made, she's an artist, and she recently made some like digital stickers that I put on my texting, something like that. I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking through it. So it might be something. There's a spoon. There's always dishes everywhere. If you have any ideas, it's something I would love to get together by January 2025 if I was going to do it. Also, thanks so much for all of you who commented about whether I should keep my name the same, thismainermom, or whether I should change it, because it did help me to see how you define my channel and what I do here, who I am. Overwhelming amount of you said keep your name the same. It's who you are. It's your identity. And so I'm going to, definitely for now, keeping it the same. And I wanted to make sure, so often I say things and then I forget to address them later.
What?
Nothing. I didn't say anything. I just smiled at you.
Bro, you just look like you're judging me of the stuff I'm bringing.
You look like you have a guilty conscience.
I don't.
Oh, but I'm not judging. I'm smiling. I'm waiting to say goodbye, but I can't tell when you're leaving.
Guilty girl, I got nothing to huh? Alright, bye girl.
Bye. Have a good day.
Sus, but okay.
Yeah, me. Always sus.
Guys, my little man didn't ask if I need help. So, yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, that was a funny little moment I had with Yvonne because I looked over her and I was just smiling without saying anything, and she was like, okay, what? And honestly, it really was that she was leaving for work, and I wanted to make sure I said goodbye to her, and I couldn't really tell because she's like gathering things. It's like, are you leaving? Are you not leaving? And I think usually when my kids are suspicious of me, it's because maybe they've left a mess behind somewhere, or I think that they left a mess behind somewhere and that I'm going to say something. That's might be what it is. I honestly don't know, and I have learned not to ask too many questions because we all get along much better if you just take it at face value and state your intentions and keep on a moving. So getting the laundry folded, I actually really enjoy folding laundry and putting something on TV. I'm not quite sure why I passed the clicker to my daughter Rachel. Usually I have some trouble with the TV and I need her help with it, so that might be what it is. I don't really know. But it's always super fast to do the laundry if you have a TV show on. And I love to watch YouTube on my TV now. It was a lot to get used to that people would watch me on their TV, and I used to just, because I've put me on the TV before, and it's like, whoa, that's a lot of Karen on that big old screen. It's one thing to think of someone looking at their phone at you. It's a whole nother thing to think about them watching it on a TV. Also, if you do watch YouTube on a TV, you should know, I mean, we're using the cheapest cameras known to man in comparison to what is commonly used for TV shows. And so every little movement, if people say they're dizzy from the way that I have filmed something, I do often wonder if they're watching it on a television set, because I notice that when I'm watching YouTube on a television set, there's a lot of the creator like moving the camera with their hands, rather than having it on a tripod. I can get a little dizzy myself. Okay, so I am doing the dishes again. I need to empty the dishwasher from what I started in the morning, but I'm not going to show it to you because you already saw it. You already saw me do dishes today. You don't need to watch me twice. So I emptied the dishwasher and then I put what little was in the sink in it, and Robin is making himself a shake with some coffee in it. And that is his cowboy coffee. One of you asked how to make it, and so we are going to put it in an upcoming video.
Always make sure I'm getting the extra good stuff.
Extra who?
Extra good stuff.
Give up on the pour spout, huh?
It doesn't, it leaks, so it doesn't work that way. No, what I do is I put a little bit of water in the ensure thing, and then shake it up because there's still a bunch left in it. It's so thick. You don't want to miss, a gram of protein. All right, we're done.
Now, project for the day. I had bought a roasted chicken. It was 99 cents a pound, which that is just phenomenal these days. So there's the carcass that I saved, and I'm going to cover it with water, and I'm going to make my own chicken stock. This is so easy to do if you've never done it. All I'm doing, and honestly, if I never put anything in here, it will be fine. I wonder if this counts as bone broth because you're boiling this for like 4 or 5 hours. And honestly, I just do it for a long time. I mean, minimum 3 hours. I just let it simmer there. I bring it to a boil and then I let it simmer. But what I do is I add a few things. Everybody adds something different to their chicken broth. It really doesn't matter. If you're looking for ideas, look at the back of the label of ingredients of whatever your favorite chicken stock or chicken broth is, and that can give you ideas on what you would enjoy to have in there. But I usually cut up an onion, I cut up a potato and a carrot. Now, if I had served the roaster chicken with carrots and potatoes, or carrots or potatoes and whatever vegetable, I would just put whatever was left over in the stock. Some people will put the peel of the onion in the stock, the peel of the carrot and the potato. That's another way to do it. I've never done it that way. Have to tell you, I was just moving out of the way because Rachel is going to wash some pans that were on the stove. And if you want to wash something in my house, I will get right out of the way. So anyways, other ideas, obviously salt and pepper. You could put some garlic in there, onion powder if you didn't have onions, parsley, oregano, but whatever you like. Oh, thyme would be another good one to put in there. So I did put something green in there, and I have a feeling it was parsley. I can't even remember because I don't do it the same way twice, or if I do, it is completely by accident. So because I didn't have leftovers to put in there, I was just peeling and cubing up one potato and one carrot. Now, something else you could do, let's say you were just making the stock to make a batch of soup. What I would do a lot of times is I would take out the carrot, the onion, and the potato, puree it, put it back in, especially potato because it acts as a thickener. But I do want to warn you, anytime you have something in that pot with a color like the carrot, if you put in too much, you'll have orange broth. Oh yeah, I was doing celery too, and I was doing that middle piece because we never use that piece for anything. So I just threw that in there, and especially because my family, they're not really big celery fans, so it's always good to just use the celery for the flavor and then take it out. So hours later, I'm going to strain the broth. And so that gets everything out. My mother would go through every bone and pick off every little piece of meat that she could find. I'm not doing that. And at this point, I'm not pureeing the vegetables either because it's going to be stock for me to save. It is not going to be used right away. So then look, I forgot to put the strainer back in, and then I was like, wait, what did I do? So what I did was I strained the broth into this bowl and I let it cool completely. And then what I did this time was I scooped it into Gladlock bags, and I did 4 cups into each bag and put those in the freezer so that whenever I need chicken stock, I can grab it right out of the freezer because it's not sealed like if you were canning it or like when you get it in the store. So it's only going to last a matter of days if you're not doing something to preserve it. So I had the drippings from the chicken from when we had roasted the chicken. I kept whatever wasn't, so I had 8 cups and then some extra. So the extra I put in the refrigerator, and then that along with the drippings I used to make a soup. And when I make a chicken soup, it's basically potatoes, carrots, obviously the chicken. I always cube up and put the chicken in at the very end because it tends to fall apart if I don't. What am I doing now? As I said, so many kids in the public school are sick, and my youngest is no exception. So she's got a nasty cold, and so I decided that I would clean up her room for her. And my love language is acts of service. So a lot of times that is how I also show love to others, is with an act of service. And so she was very happy to come home to a clean room. And don't you just think sometimes it's just so encouraging when mama goes in and zhuzhes up your room? I tried to do it very respectfully. Like you see that red box on the floor, she's still kind of moving in and figuring out where things are going to go in her room. So I didn't mess with that stuff. I tend to do what my mom did, which is kind of pile it in a way that looks neater if, say, there's something on an end table or something. But I do try to clean up without being overly intrusive. So I cleaned up the floor, I made the bed, and this is it is a chair that folds out into a bed. She keeps it in the folded out position because then she can kind of watch TV when she gets home. And so I just made that look all pretty with the blankets that she uses when she's watching TV at night. She has a projector, and the opposite wall to where that is blank. And so she has the largest screen TV in the house by having a projector, and projectors don't even really cost that much. I also got a question about the Dyson vacuum and how I like it. This is the only cordless vacuum I have ever bought. I bought it in 2020. I have heard people get upset with Dyson because they think the vacuum doesn't last long. and isn't worth the price. So right now, this is a V11 animal, and I priced it out on Amazon, and right now it is $549. I will say, if you get the extended warranty, which I did, my engine blew out before the extended warranty was up. So I think it was within the first 2 years, the engine went, or something like that. Yeah, it was the engine. So we contacted Dyson. I had bought this on Amazon, but the warranties with Dyson. We contacted Dyson. They only wanted like me to send them an email telling them what problem I was having with it. And that top piece you see is where the engine is. They just sent a new one, no questions asked. So I was very happy with the warranty, and I've had no trouble with this current engine. I also purchased extra filters because you do want to be cleaning the filter, I don't know, once a month. But I literally use this vacuum every single day. I do like the attachments. I like the way you can kind of take it apart and just have a short piece. I like it for cleaning out cabinets and that sort of thing. I will say I don't think it picks up as well as it did in the beginning. I feel like when I first got it, it was even really good at sucking up, say, pebbles, because we have a dirt driveway. And sometimes I have to go over little pebbles twice. It doesn't really do the job in that area. This is the makeshift storage and closet for the girls, and I'm just getting that vacuumed up. And then next you're going to see me do some fall decorating. Woohoo!
I have my fall decor box. Let's see what I have for fall decor. First, this picture that my daughter Rachel gave me a few years back. This is definitely going in my living room. And then, ooh, I forgot I have a shower curtain. Okay. Shower curtain for the upstairs bathroom. Table runner, which this, I think I have two. One was for the table and one is for under the TV. So I'm actually going to use one for my sideboard, one for the TV. Then we have these little guys, which I love. Of course, I love my birds. I love this guy. And I do have this, but I need to get a new scent thing for it. So I don't have that. And then, oh, a couple of mugs. I can put that in the coffee area. These are Eons, I believe. Yep. I'm here for the boo. And then, can't forget my kitchen curtain. I love this so much. I've had it for years. You can get these very inexpensively on Amazon. Oh, do you want me to? Okay. We have this, but I need to get some weeds or dry flowers or something to put in it. And then my pumpkin, my wagon, and I have a couple of these here. I feel like I had more of those, but who knows? Maybe I'll get some fresh gourds from the store. And then this little turkey guy. So the rest in here is like tools for carving pumpkins, so those will stay in there for now. Okay, so what I need to do is put away my summer decor and take out or figure out where we're putting all of this fall decor. Not that I have a ton, because I really don't. I do think I'm going to put this little bird right here. That's cute. And then, does this need to be ironed? Yeah, I guess it does. All right, my shower curtain really doesn't.
I like to keep my decorating very simple. I do like changing things over, but I don't really love seeing a ton of things in one room. I can handle it if I say go visit someone else in their house and I can appreciate it and think it's very beautiful. But in my own house, too much visual input makes me feel cluttered. And the most items you'll always see are behind me. For example, if I'm sitting on the couch, the things I'm putting on this shelf are behind me. So I look at it when I walk into a room, but when I'm sitting and relaxing, I don't see it. I have one picture that's over my TV. It's the Portland skyline that my daughter Rachel painted for me. Other than that, I don't see decor. So I love this so much. And that picture came from Rachel. But I don't love seeing a ton of things. So I like to keep it super simple. And this sideboard, I also really love decorating the sideboard. That to me, it just fills me with joy. And I've gotten so many questions about this dining room. I know I have super confused people, and it just proves that if I were to ever sell the house, it would need to be a dining room again. And it will be a dining room again. I don't know. I have to say, I was just kind of fed up with it for whatever reason, annoyed by it. So I just took the table down. Got it out of my way. But it's helping me to rethink the room and maybe to do it maybe more the way I would like it. I didn't like, it's a small dining room, and I did not like how much room the table took up. When I purchased the table, I actually purchased it when my oldest went to college, and at that time there were only 3 kids, interestingly. And then right after that was when we adopted our younger 4 children, an international adoption. So then we really needed that big table, and I really did appreciate it. By the way, love this curtain. That's just a little bit of a close-up view. But now that my kids are grown, I don't need a table that big except for holidays. So we're still kind of working that out. Now this curtain you see me taking down, I got it at Goodwill. I love it. It's great for when I just need some simplicity. But there was a stain on it that I didn't see when I purchased it. And so I got it out the best I could, kind of while it was hanging. And now that I have it down, I'm going to work on it a whole lot harder. By the way, do you like my t-shirt here? It's Cool Moms Club. My kids actually thought it was cute. One time, maybe they were a bit younger. It was a couple years ago. I got one that said Mama Knows Best. Mama Bear Knows Best, and it had a bear on it. And that kind of got me some eye rolls. But this one, the going consensus is that it's a cute shirt, and I am a cool mom, and if you're a mom, you're a cool mom too. I love this curtain, especially with all of the white of the cabinets. I thought some marigolds would be really pretty and would go nicely with my curtain. We're kind of at the end of the year here anyway, so I feel like it's okay. Those are so pretty. And then we have the yellow ones. Let's see. I can deadhead some of these so that they'll continue to grow. I need to water my stuff today really bad. I haven't had any flowers by my window in a bit, so it feels good to get those in there again. And I put the marigolds in, and it was just a little too short in the vase, so I felt like I needed something taller. So I ended up going outside, and I got a sprig of begonia, and I also got a sprig. There's a spider plant in that pot out in front of my house, so I got a little sprig of the spider plant as well, and it just gave me enough height so that I felt like it made more sense there. I am becoming more and more of a plant person, actually keeping some plants alive these days, which has been very exciting. So there's my window for fall. Simple, but still has some things there that definitely bring me joy. So like I said, I'm getting some plants there. Oh yeah, so these would have come, I think, Dollar General. That's where most of my fall decor came from, was Dollar General, with a few little spots of the Dollar Tree in there. And in fact, you're going to see this table runner coming up. I believe I also got that at Dollar General. And what I really like about it, it has like more of a white background, where a lot of those ones that you find, especially for fall, have more of a cream background. But since my sideboard is white, I like having the white background. So I'm going to get the sideboard all decorated. Super excited. I always love to decorate my sideboard. And you can see there's like hooks under the pictures on the wall, and I was thinking of making a pine cone garland, and so that will go up soon. So this is just stage one of the fall decorating. I don't have a ton more to do, but definitely we'll be adding little touches around the house, and that is what makes me so happy. Do you decorate for fall? I know not everybody does, which is great. You don't have to, for sure. And I don't put out separate decorations for Halloween. I've done it before when my girls asked for it, but if they don't specifically ask, I don't do it. Not really into it. But I do love to do silly little things like you might have seen on my Instagram page. I need to put it on my community page on YouTube so that the rest of you can see it. But I made corn muffins and I put little skeleton hands and little candy eyeballs on the corn muffins. Oh, maybe I could show that when I show you my chili. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I'll show it to you in another video. But I like to do little silly things like that that just make the girls smile sometimes. That makes them roll their eyes at mom is silly, which I think is great. So one of the little lessons I learned here is you see the brown pedestal that I have the thankful pumpkin on. Well, I had another brown pedestal, but it was with my spring and summer box. So I need to have a neutral box because I realized that needed to go up higher right there. So I went through the summer box just in case, and sure enough, there was one in there which gave me the height that I was looking for.
His nose and opened it.
Oh my.
So he knows how to open the door now.
Oh my.
So I had to reinforce it extra hard to make sure he wouldn't escape. And of course he complained. He's like, meow.
Hey, Trouble.
Hey, Troubles.
It's this part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. Scissors. Look at me.
What are you doing?
It's like leaves.
You in nature?
Let me just get a piece to put my scissor in.
Yeah. There you go.
There we are. Dump the water out. Yay.
Yay.
I did it, Leo.
Just curious. Is she curious?
Look how perfect that fits.
Hmm.
Sometimes I have good ideas. Sometimes I have good ideas. Except when the branches don't bend the right way. That's okay. I like including those real life moments. I feel like it gives you more of a sense of us as a family. Anyway, so when I was thinking about what to put in the vase, then I started thinking, what could I do? What could I bring inside from outside? And I remembered that there was a pretty tree at the end of my road. It was a small kind of sapling volunteer. And so I asked my daughter if she wanted to go for a walk. So I got my pruning shears and off I went because it was on the roadside. It wasn't in anyone's yard. And so I clipped a couple of branches and then I made a little display of fall leaves and I absolutely love it. And I don't know how long it will last in the water. I love that I was able to put a water bottle in this vase because one other year I tried to put flowers in it and it leaked everywhere. So now I know I can't do that. I know I got this vase as well at the Dollar General last year. So I'm topping off the water a little bit and then bringing it into the dining room. I'll have more fall fun to come, more switcheroos to come, and so I hope you'll join me as well. And I'd like to welcome those of you who are new and have subscribed new. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope you remember always that God loves you, and I love you too, and I can't wait to see you next time.